Hi, I'm Ms. Deline, and today I have a amazing card. Great Mystery, Original Source. It's a biggie. The attributes are source of the mysteries and all life and all love. All that is, the creator force, the creator, the inner and outer source, the divine plan and maker. The challenges are acknowledging the original source living inside of all creation, not trying to solve the mystery, accepting the role of co-creator to the creator, being a living extension of the great mystery's love, trusting the great mystery and the divine plan. If the great mystery has spoken to you through the cards today, rejoice, for creation is at work in your life. Be grateful for the blessings of life, breath, health, and abundance. If you should feel that all or one of these blessings is lacking in your present situation, give thanks for them as though you have received these gifts of life and they will become actively present again. The Great Mystery card may be telling you to drop the limitations in your personal creativity and look to the idea of being created in the image of a limitless creative source. In recognizing the expression of Great Mystery's creation that you represent, you may need to remind yourself that you too are a limitless co-creator of this universe. Remember that. You too are a limitless co-creator of this universe. Great Mystery can also be speaking to you on another level and saying the time has come to stop trying to figure out why and how the world and your personal affairs work. The void of the unknown is immune to your internal dialogue and your chattering fears. The future is always bright for those who trust who they are and their ability to create in the present. In feeding the positive ideas, we create positive results. Another message of the Great Mystery card has to do with your ability to honor your present path of creation. Can you say to yourself that the role you are presently playing contributes to the whole? Do you actually feel that the talents you have are being used fully or wisely? Are you happy with the promise each new day brings? Are you willing to be here on our Earth Mother and find joy of being physical? If you answer no to any of these questions, you have forgotten your connection to Great Mystery. You may have forgotten how precious the essence of life is to you. Do not create a crisis that will force you to remember the gift of life. I've never done that. Ha ha. Make the decision to learn and grow through creating joyful experiences instead of high drama. Then prepare yourself for the exquisite experience of feeling Great Mystery alive and well and living through you. If you've become hopeless or helpless, it may be time to call on the omnipotent power that Great Mystery represents through words of thanksgiving for the blessings you presently have. The help you may need is living in your own heart. The atoms that make up creation carry the spark of life Great Mystery gave them before the beginning of time. The joy is claimed when we can acknowledge that the force is alive and well inside of us. All that is required is to open the heart to that eternal flame that lives within and is called love. Love is it. In all cases, the Great Mystery calls for a time of returning to the original source and acknowledging the mystery of life. We are not asked to be detectives or to solve the mystery, but rather to bathe in the magic of discovering and rediscovering the potential for being limitless co-creators of our world and all other worlds. The magnificence of being alive and the willingness to be the source of all that we experience is a key to unlocking our potential. As we reflect the original source as it lives inside of us, we walk in beauty along the sacred path that leads to wholeness. This is just a beautiful card. I love it so much. So, I believe that we are all connected And I think that most people on a spiritual path get that concept to some degree or another, and that what I do, it's like when you toss a pebble in the pond, even a little tiny pebble, it causes a ripple that goes out way, way beyond where it was tossed in. And so tossing that tiny pebble into a pond, not only does it affect the pond, which is a bigger thing, but it ripples throughout the pond, right, and affects everything in the pond. So I've always, gotten that concept. And being able to live on an Apache reservation, and since then, looking at a lot of different tribal beliefs, Native American tribes, the one thing that I've come across is their belief in animism. And, well, I haven't come across it, it just is. And I think that most tribes have they have different beliefs, different cultural things, but the similar thing is they believe in that concept of animism. And at first, I believed in it too, but now science has proved it. So animism, if you don't know, is the belief that everything contains a spiritual essence. So you'll hear Native Americans talk about the stone people, in other words, the rocks. And each animal has an essence to it, and an expression of that essence. And so what science has proven is that, we are all made up of atoms. Everything is made up of atoms. Just the atoms are vibrating all, at a different level of vibration. And some of us have more water, less water, things like that. But really, when it comes down to it, we are everything on our planet is made of atoms. And off the planet, the clouds, the air, are made of atoms, right? So that's a scientific fact, and then atoms make molecules and on and on. But what it comes down to is that we're all made of the same stardust, all of us, everything, not just us, but everything. Earth, air, fire, water, trees, rocks, coyotes, everything are made of atoms. So that being said, it's not that much of a leap to understand that we are all connected. If we all have the same basic thing making us up, then we can all connect. Maybe not on a conscious level always, but there is this greater connection. I believe that we're connected to all that was, all that is, and all that ever will be. And so when I lived on the reservation, there were things like you might call it psychic or telepathic or whatever, but nobody called it that there. It just was, right? And so when my sister and I got bucked off a horse in the middle of the desert, like the closest home may have been 5 miles away. We were in the desert, way off in the desert. We got bucked off. She ran to the next cattle guard and had to wait for us there because she couldn't cross the cattle guard, so we had to open the gate. And so we got back on her, right? We rode home. By the time we got home, someone in the we walked into the trading post and someone said, "Oh, you got bucked off. Frosty bucked you off, huh?" And I just stopped. I was probably like, 14, 15, something like that. And I'm like, "How do you know?" "Oh, I just know." Yeah, everyone on the reservation knew that we got bucked off our horse. oh my gosh, I could tell you so many stories like that. But they didn't think of it as telepathy. It wasn't anything that they consciously did. It just was, right? Everyone, they believed that everything is connected, everyone is connected, everything has an essence of spirit. And so, I always thought of it as telepathy when I was a kid. I don't know what else to call it. But it's just an amazing thing. So that being said, that everything has a spiritual essence, it changes how you look at things, right? A rock isn't just a rock. It has a spiritual essence. And so in shamanism, one of the first things that I learned in a basic in basic shamanism was, the rock. You can ask the rock for information, right? You can get into an altered space and connect with that rock. You can connect with water. You can connect, it's the most amazing thing. If you haven't experienced it, just trust me, it's amazing. One time I did a shamanic journey, and I became dolphin. I don't remember, it was many years ago. I don't remember what the journey was about. I didn't ask for dolphin. Next thing I knew, I was dolphin. And I mean, I was dolphin. I was swimming in the ocean underwater. I was going like 90 miles an hour. I could sense the way that they, it's almost like I can't even explain it. There's no way to explain it. One time I was eagle. I was eagle, and I could see through eagle's eyes. I was way above the earth. I could see everything where I was flying. I could feel how my wings worked. I could feel, oh my gosh. And this is all, it's shamanic journeying. It is, and I do it with the drum. And I've had some amazing experiences. And the only way that explains that is, we're all connected. And so when it comes to shamanism, when shamans all over the world have, Michael Harner made it his life's study to study shamanism all around the world. And so, I don't know, over 50 years of information that he gleaned by traveling all over, and to China, to South America, to Hawaii, to just all the places where there's indigenous cultures, and of course all over the United States, and to the different tribes. And he created a map of the underworld, of all things. So it didn't matter if, because when you first learn shamanism, when you first journey, you're thinking it's just your imagination, this can't be real, it's just my imagination, when I see these things and experience these things. Well, he has studied shamans from all over the world, and that don't have anything in common, no language, they've never seen each other, they, in rural areas where they haven't even left their reservation or whatever. And he made a map of the underworld because they all told him the same thing. They all told him the same thing, maybe not thing, but things about their experiences in the spirit world. Some people call it the underworld. It's the spirit world. And sometimes it's the upper world, like the heavens or whatever you want to call it, that you journey to. So anyway, what can explain that? When a shaman in northern China is telling him the same thing that a shaman who can't speak English in the woods, in the forest or the jungle of South America is telling him, what can explain that? So, great mystery. It's all about the great mystery. I love it. The great mystery is another word for source, for all that is. You know, call it God, call it Allah, call it Great Spirit. I usually call it Great Spirit or Creator. That's just my words for it. And so, great mystery, the source, original source. It's where we all came from. I hope this card inspired you. Thank you, and I love you all.